No. No. I guess everybody heard me say 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 no. Okay. I guess everybody heard me say no. Okay. All right. I think I got the hang of this. I think so. That was good. It wasn't so bad. Hello, Facebook family out there. We've got some exciting conversation today. I'm waiting on one other guest, but we're going to go ahead and roll because we start on time. We sort of end up on time, depending on the flavor of the conversation. So we are talking about the rock, the rock, the rock, the rock, the infamous rock, the rock that every girl dreams of. And every, probably most guys' nightmare to even think about trying to afford.
Really?
Okay, Khalid, we cannot start out this way. We have to be on good behavior. We have guests. You have a frat brother here. We have Jared here. We cannot be on bad behavior, okay? So we're gonna start this conversation off. It's the third phase in my book. If you've been following our conversations, I spill a lot of tea in my book, a lot of tea. And some people have cracked up laughing and have called me and texted me about it. But nevertheless, it's all good because I want us to have real conversation in real time for people to really consider some things. I'm not here to change your mind. I'm not here to change your faith. I'm not here to badger you or make you feel bad because you feel or you believe a certain thing in a certain way. I'm just giving you my experience, my understanding, my revelation, my sense of thought, and how this thing works best. And yeah, that's best for me, but from what I understand from talking to quite a few people who are watching, people that I did not know were watching, who are inboxing me and texting me, telling me, sis, you're on point. So I'll go with that. If it helps one person, I'm good. I'm good with spilling my tea. Okay. So as some of you guys, if you're reading, I was engaged 3 times before I got married the 4th. So that meant I would likely been a polygamist or divorced 3 times and then got married the 4th. But I listened to Holy Spirit, the spirit that was in me that told me no. Tears, snotting, knees crawling, knocking on doors, please, 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 all of that mixture and then some. But I heard God clearly the very last time, and his word to me was, how long will you cry for Saul when I've chosen another? Now that's straight 1 Samuel, right? Right, minister? That's straight 1 Samuel. And you have to read up on what that actually meant. But what that meant to me was, because I've said no and you continue to cry for something I said no to, that means either I'm going to walk in God's grace over my life and his mercy and his revelation and understanding, or I'm going to walk outside of his grace and his mercy, preferably, hopefully I could get some mercy by walking out of his grace and then suffer the consequences for me making that choice. That's, it wasn't, there's no gray. There was no gray. It's either you do it my way or you do it your way. And then the fallout is the fallout, right? Welcome, Chiquita. This is Miss Red Carpet. I'm going to introduce our people now that she's on. Yes, ma'am. So we have Jared and his lovely wife of how long? Jared, give me the days, minutes,
A
time.
month and like 5 days.
A month and five. I like a brother that can count. You know what I'm saying? That just did something to my soul. I appreciate that. His lovely wife is in school, and as soon as she's done with her class, she's gonna come on over on the Zoom. So welcome, welcome, welcome. I appreciate you guys coming in. And we also have Minister Wilfred Burns, my brother, my frat brother too, but my brother. Introduce yourself and tell them about your show.
Winfred Burns II. I am co-host of The Scoop Show on Facebook every Tuesday at this exact same time, 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So yeah, minister, author.
Yes. Where's your book? You got your book? So you can show the people. Yes. Now, let me tell you, I was honored to have the opportunity to read some excerpts, right? You gave me just like an abstract. I was like, oh my.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Now, if you think my situation was real conversation, get his book. It's some real deep conversations in there to have. And we have none other than Miss Red Carpet, my little sis. But she's kind of my big sis. She's trying to be. Go ahead, introduce yourself, Miss Red Carpet.
Hi, I'm Chiquita, Miss Red Carpet, the serial entrepreneur and little sister to Dr. Kina. So.
Yes, she has a makeup line. She does party planning. What else do you do besides be a mom of extraordinarily wonderful children?
Yes, kids with the S is plural. It's plural now, 17 years apart. Like I'm still flabbergasted by it. I have a cosmetic line. I'm a makeup artist. I do event planning. I have a photo 360 booth. I do the neon signs. I do flower walls. Pretty much you name it, I do it. I'm in marketing communications. PR. So I do blogging, So I'm like Jill and Jack of all trades.
Yes, and just as a disclaimer, I've known her since she was 14. Chiquita, you went off screen. I think you were 14. Were you 14?
Sorry, somebody was calling me. I put it on Do Not Disturb. Yes, probably since I was like 13 or 14 years old, and I'm 35.
Woo! She getting old, not me.
Child, I'm seasoned. Seasoned.
You're seasoned? Okay, I'm 29. All right. So, and our wonderful therapists, our wonderful people who just gonna tell it to you and keep it real. We have Dr. Garrett and we have Khalid Scott, who are just gonna give us balanced conversation. Come on, law student. My Tiara is here. Come on, graduating in December. Come on, she's gonna be my colleague soon, y'all. Go ahead and introduce yourself. Your husband did good. He counted month and 5 days. It did my heart good. Go ahead, Tiara. Go ahead.
It hasn't been a month and 5 days though.
It is.
It's okay.
Right.
You gonna give him some credit. Don't do him like that. You gonna give him credit.
Well, I don't know the exact number either, so I guess I can't be that hard on him. I'm Tiara. As Dr. Arnold stated, I am graduating from law school in December. Actually met my husband through the church. Both came up in youth church at the church we currently attend. And that's where we met. Some time and distance kind of brought us apart from each other, but as God would have it, we reunited years later, and the rest is history.
Yes, and you're making history. Come on now. You already got at least a month under your belt. We'll give them credit for the month, all right? So we're just gonna start this off. Again, we're talking about phase 3. And I started out saying, does size really matter? And I know we usually mean that in a different way, but we're gonna mean it in this way. You know what, Chiquita, put your finger down. I
hope you forewarned the people about me, because I've just,
Nope. I ain't forewarning nobody.
Disclaimer.
So cut, clarity, color, and carrot. Those are the 4 C's, right? And Genesis 24 and 22 is the only scripture that I could find, and Minister Burns, correct me if I'm wrong, where it even talks about somebody getting something like, other than a dowry or something like that, but getting a ring or some type of jewel as a sense of promise, right? And in that particular scripture, the young lady receives a bunch of bangles and then they go to the father, right? That's the only place. And I mean, they loaded her up. You have to understand. So this was wealth promising, you're the one, and lead me to your dad, right? And they loaded her up. So I don't know, size may matter to some, size may not matter to others, but we go back to Proverbs 18:22, the good thing. From my perspective in looking at it, I look at both of us being the good thing, right? The scripture does say the man finds a wife, he finds, favor unto the Lord and all, but I'm just as much of the gift as he is the gift to me. That's my perspective on it, right? Mm-hmm. And so when looking at the ring, I remember my second engagement, size did matter. Now, why did it matter? Because of that person's status. I knew his finances. I knew what he could afford, and I expected it accordingly on mama's finger. And so if he came with a dot, we was going to have problems. We was going to have deep, deep problems. My mother bought me my first diamond ring. My mother bought me my first diamond earrings because her thought was, I don't want someone to give you a dot and you be all, and me bringing it to her and she like, nah, that's not it. So, so what that implanted in my head was size matters. So even that little small seed kind of germinated and it continued, right? So when I got to the adult age, I can't even count you how many weddings I have been in. I had a trunk, those old trunks you used to buy for trunk parties. I don't think they do it for trunk parties anymore. And you fill it up with all kinds of stuff for college, right? Well, I had a trunk of dresses, matching shoes. The shoes had to match in the 80s and the 90s. They had to match. Matching shoes, hats, gloves, jewelry pieces, just all in this trunk of the many weddings that I had been in. And when I thought about it, I'm like, you've been in all these weddings, but I can count on one hand how many of them are still together to this day. Yeah. And I know that I did over 10. I wouldn't say I was what was it, 27 Brides or Bridesmaids or something like that. What's the name of that movie, right? She had been in so many weddings and never in her own. I wouldn't say I was up in her number, but I had been in enough to say, okay, something's odd about this. Something's odd. So the ring size does not predict, nor does it say anything really genuinely about the love or the lack thereof. Sometimes it's an overcompensation for something that's missing. Sometimes it's a showpiece. And I was engaged to a person who always would say to me, you leading with the left, right? You're leading with the left, right? When you were in court today, you led with the left, right? You led with the left. And I was like, so cute. No. He was giving me the importance of how much he spent and how much I should be appreciative of how much he spent. And that was a constant reminder. When I say at least once a week, leading with the left was the comment or a statement. And I didn't think anything of it until we broke up. So all these things came to fruition in my mind as to what was real important. Was it important for me to be cute in my cute outfits, leading with the left whenever we went out, whenever we were in public? Or was it important, the love, the relationship, the communication, the honesty, the transparency, those things should have been more important than leading with the left. So I'll open it up there. I'm gonna go before I get to Chiquita. I'm gonna go to the Stevenson because I know she has something to say. The Stevensons. What was your thoughts, Tiara, when he proposed?
I just wanted the proposal. I didn't care anything about the ring. I think at one point when we had gotten really serious, I had made a joke, albeit probably more serious than he thought, that he could have gave me a ring pop. And I would have been satisfied with that. It wasn't important to me what the ring looked like. And to your story that you stated earlier about your mother giving you a ring early on in your years, my mother actually showed me her engagement ring from my father, who they've been together now 32 years. And it was a dot. And she, because of that, didn't wear it during their entire engagement. She kept it in the box. I think she may have made a comment that she may have put it on a chain on her neck, but she's like, I'm not wearing it. And he did upgrade her ring, but even hearing her say that so long ago, I never understood. And I asked her time and time again why that was so important. But I think, at that point it was, his status and how much he made. And now it's just a ring for her. I mean, she wears it every day. I think she says she sleeps in it. Only time she take it off is when she get in the shower. But like today, he sent me a text message because I had left my ring at home just by mistake. And he was like, oh, I guess you're single today. Because you left it at home.
And I got the same comment. I think it's in the rule book of men who get married 101, but go ahead.
But yeah, I mean, it's like I said, it was never important to me what it looked like, how big it was. I just wanted the man attached to the proposal. So maybe that's why I'm so forgetful of it, because to me, it's another piece of jewelry. And our union is what's more important to me.
That's good. That's good. Miss Chiquita, what you got to say, mama?
Just being honest and just being Chiquita, I wanted it all. I wanted the man, I wanted the trust, the commitment, the honesty, and all of that. But I also wanted something. I wanted the statement piece. I miss red carpet. You not coming with nothing less. You just not. Like you're not gonna give me a dot. I commend the young lady, the couple who said, she's like, you could have gave me a ring pop. Sis, I wasn't doing no I wasn't even gonna joke with him about that. No, ma'am, Pam. I wanted it all. I wanted a nice statement piece, but I didn't want it too flashy because I didn't want nobody to, come chop my finger off and stuff. You know what I mean? Like I didn't want that, but I did want something nice and like, yeah. And just because it's a nice piece don't mean he love you, no more any less. It doesn't mean that, because after I got the ring, it seemed like I caught more hell than, but that's a whole nother story for another day. But I wanted, it did matter to me. I wanted something because I'm the person, and Keena can tell you, I've raised myself pretty much since teenage years. So for me, I've always done for myself. So now that I had this man come along, and actually he was my first love. Like I met him at 14 years old. And, because of my life experiences, we lost contact, things like that. And he found me and we reconnect 20 years later. So it was like, whoa, is this fate or something? So, and then he felt like because of the person that I am, he wanted to give me something that people will be like, well, dang, like, so I don't have just this ring. I actually have another ring as well. And so it's just like, okay, that's nice. But I wanted it. Like, yeah, you gonna show me. Like, that's where my head was, and it now, of course, being a more functioning adult and being a couple years in with this person, it's just like, does size really matter? Still, yes. For me, I'm just being honest. Still, yes, it did. Because I like to look down and be like, dang, like this. Okay, sis, like, he really did good, even though you want to slap him upside the head. But it was just like an important piece for me, because I was just like, wow, this is something that I'm going to wear. I'm going to wear it every day. Now there are days that I might wear the band, but you know, this is something that I'm gonna wear every day and be like, yes, you know, yes, this because he bought this. So it was a little important to me because I mean, again, I'm used to doing everything by myself and buying my own statement pieces and things. So now you come along,
Right.
yeah, you gonna show me.
Yeah.
I
And
want to.
it's funny you would say that. When I was doing some research on rings, rings in the first century was a sign of wealth. So the only people that wore rings, engagement rings or a wedding band, were people who had means. So us pauper people, I'm working my way up the mountain. You know, that law school, that'll get you on it here. That, hey. But those were wealthy people, you know, and so I think that mentality has just, you know, definitely permeated American culture, right? Because we had the Kobe Bryant giving, when he messed up, he gave her like this fat yellow diamond, and yellow diamonds weren't even in. And then as soon as he did that, colored diamonds like went up the roof. The white diamonds were like, yeah, whatever, that's yesterday.
I saw cognac. My friend's her ex-husband now, because they weren't even married 3 years, had a lavish wedding. He gave her a cognac diamond.
Right.
And then regular diamonds on the side. And I was just like, I ain't never seen this. This is prestige.
and actually, for our viewers, there are 8 colors of diamonds. My ring is actually a champagne colored diamond, just so, you know, some education on diamonds and those 4 C's, which are important. But what's funny about my husband is that Big G knew all about the 4 C's, the colors, everything. So he had it in his mind that when he got engaged, when he chose his forever, that it was going to be a brown diamond for a brown-eyed girl. And so that's why my diamond is like amazing to me, because this was something he had in his mind and that he chose for me. Now, I will be honest, and I'm gonna come to you, Minister Burns, that I was like, okay, we're 11 years in. It's time to upgrade. So that's what I'm working on. But I don't even know if I really want to upgrade or I want him to want to upgrade. I don't even know. So I'm still working on that size, whether or not it matters or whatever. Look, Chiquita, the little sister in your gut, like, girl, you better. Okay, you
just saying. both of them, you want him to want to upgrade you. It's like that comes natural for a woman. I feel it's like you want him to want to upgrade you. Like, okay, we so many years, chap. When Eric messed up, I wanted a whole nother ring.
You know what? Come on,
and I got a whole nother ring.
Come on, Mr. Burns.
Does the size matter? I mean, obviously, I think that depends on the person. I think it depends on the person, first of all. And I think really the overall idea is that you want something that that is an expression of your affection. And you want something that fits within your financial status.
Come on, speak.
So if you have the ability, say Kobe Bryant, to buy a $4 million ring because you got caught in infidelity, then for Kobe Bryant, who makes $60 million, that's then that's nothing.
That's our $2, right? That's like our $2.
Right. But if you're the average person average person in America who makes $56,000 a year, then you need to buy something equivalent to what you could do. So I think what it really boils down to is, what can you do? Now, I'm divorced. So the first time I got married, I was 23 years old, and I bought my ex-wife a 3/4 carat diamond that was good. All of the 4 C's were good. And it cost to be equivalent to what I could make now. Now that I am, in the process of, trying to do this marriage thing again at some point, I'm looking at rings and I'm saying, I don't have what I had then, but I want to do more than what I was able to do before, because this is me as a man, my expression of what I want this woman to wear. And she's looking at me like, dude, I don't care. And for me to hear her say, I don't care, makes me want to do even more, because now I recognize that what she wants is me and not what I have to offer. And so I think size matters in the sense that what we want to do and what we can do, but it's not the basis of our relationship. And we shouldn't, like I struggle with at times, make the decision of what we're going to buy based upon our ego, but we should do it based upon what we can afford. What we can afford, not what we can go in debt for, but what we can afford and what we can pay for, not what we can put on a credit card, make monthly payments on at 30% interest, but
That's
what you
good.
can afford. So
Yeah.
yeah, it matters, but it matters in the sense of what you can do. And you want to offer to your fiance, your bride, to be what you can do, and of course understanding that at some point you can upgrade.
Yeah. It's funny you said that, because the first thing that came to mind when I was even thinking about this gathering was that episode. I don't know how many of you all watched Girlfriends, the show. And do you remember the episode where Tony had this huge rock and they were poor? they didn't have no money. She's married to a doctor, and that's what she wanted. She wanted the status, right? And someone snatched it off her finger, I guess at a spa.
They were at a spa, and the lady asked to admire her ring,
and she stole it. And so he was like, we can get a lesser expensive ring and pay off some debt.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, or you can give me this $40,000 ring or I'll divorce you.
Right. And so I remember that episode sticking out in my mind, like, we in debt though. Like, I mean, it was bad that someone stole the ring, right? Mm-hmm. But now that the ring is stolen and you could gain monetary support for your debt, cutting off some debt. I'm like,
well, technically she was saying he was in debt because he lied to her about being in debt before they got married. She was like, no, you in debt. I'm not in debt. But when we become one, your debt does become my debt. So I'm gonna need you to take care of that before we even walk down. Yeah.
Well, that's another conversation about having honest communication about finances and credit scores and what we can buy. Can we buy a house, or are we still living in the homeless shed? What are we really doing, right? So the Dr. Garrett or Khalid, you want to jump right on in here?
So could I please? So having been married to someone when I was 22, the ring mattered then. At this age, going into a new decade of my life, I could care less. I have my grandparents' ring, my great-grandparents' wedding ring. They got married February 4th, 1918. And it was just a simple band.
Right.
I would wear that. They were married 69 years and 10 months.
Wow.
Before he passed away. Great example. I have my grandmother's wedding ring and band, her engagement ring and band. And they were married 50 years.
Wow.
And it's a simple diamond, but with the four C's. And he upgraded her ring. Right. I had to almost twist his arm off to upgrade her ring at 50. I was like, she's gonna be married to you 50 years, man, get her a new ring. But it didn't matter to her. It mattered to us. And so the thing that I said, it does not matter about the ring to me. What matters is the man behind the ring.
Right.
And so if I have all of the things, all the qualities that you stated, and all those qualities that are important to me, I could care less. Give me my grandmother's ring. That's not a bad thing. If we can't afford anything else, and that's what we have, that's a great example to have on my finger. It's a statement piece. I don't wear rings anyway. I have a drawer full of rings. I don't wear them. It doesn't mean anything to me. I would much rather oh, can we afford the house that I want?
Right.
Can we do that? Can we
Right.
build on the property that my parents or grandparents left? That matters to me.
Right. Right.
So the
Longevity.
ring piece, yeah, that the examples that I had in marriage were very strong examples. The ring did not matter to those particular women. My grandfather spoiled my grandmother in many other ways, and the same with my great grandparents. And that's the thing that I saw as an example. So I could bypass me on the ring. Let's talk about the other things.
Right.
That's how I think.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. Come on, Khalid. It
You
was the last punch.
you sure?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Here
I'm waiting
goes.
for it. Between him
Here
and
goes.
Chief, I don't know. I don't
Here
know.
goes. As you all know, that I do marriage therapy, right? And I'm divorced. And over the last year, I have seen couples who are in the worst state that you could be in as a married person. And there's common threads with these toxic marriages, with these marriages that are being challenged. And that is knowing what the priority is.
That's good.
One of the assignments that I give all the wives, and let me throw this out, all 10 of my couples, the husband has cheated multiple times. So let me say that again. With all 10 marriages of the couples that I'm counseling, all of the 10 husbands have cheated multiple times. So when I go into the first session, I tell both the husband and the wife, it's both your fault. So the wives do this. Oh, how is it my fault that he stepped out and did? I said to them, and I always give them the disclaimer, I'm the male version of Iyanla Vanzant. So understand, I am going to make you put everything on the table because I can't help your marriage. I can't help you if we are not gut-wrenching transparent.
Right.
So I give all 10 of the wives this assignment. Read this book, and you have a week before our next session to read it. Because I want to set a tone that, wives, I need you to understand the mind of a man. Because most of the wives are the ones who called me to set up the sessions. So I know they're vested. The husbands, I'm doing it because I don't want to hear her mouth. And I'm already on the couch, okay? And
Well,
so
yeah.
I discuss with them that they have to understand, you got to know what a priority is. And you have to know your mate. So if I'm with Shakita and her husband, what Shakita has thrown out in the atmosphere is what's important to her. Husband, do you understand that that is important to her? If you have to be on the same accord or you're going to have trouble, right?
Well, I'ma just say I'm my daddy's daughter, so you can't you can't use me as that example.
Got you, but I'm just throwing out what you threw out in the atmosphere. And so, and you have a right if that's your value. Absolutely. But it's got to align with the man you're marrying. And ladies, you got to always understand, men are assessing you from the first phone call to well into the marriage. They're assessing you. They listen to what you said. They play it off like they're not listening, but they listen to everything, okay? The young lady in the middle, Mrs. Stevenson, when she said, I can have a blow pop, that touched my heart as a man hearing that, because what I heard was, it's about that man I'm sitting right next to.
Right.
That man I'm sitting right next to. That's what I need to go through the fire. Well, I need to go through the fire. And so it's about priorities.
Yeah.
Ladies, to have healthy relationships with men, you got to know our minds.
Yeah.
And then the men have to do the same work as well. You got to know who you're married to.
Right.
I expected a wife to cook most of the nights. I married somebody who did not want to cook most of the nights. We are divorced. So I'm not just saying this sounding chauvinistic. I lived it.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
lived it. So we got to know what the priority is. And I think that's what the overall sentiment of your subject tonight, sis, is that, is the ring really that important? And what does it state if it is or isn't?
Right.
Yeah.
And actually, one example I give in the book, it's actually for those that are reading, it's on page 67, when one of my suitors, he proposed without a ring. And because I gave my word, that was it for me. So there was a relationship where the ring did not matter. It was my word that mattered. Now that was taught to me from yay high. Your word is your bond. Your word means everything. Your name means everything. So what you say yes to and what you say nay to, that's the value.
Absolutely.
And so because I said yes to his proposal, and then we went looking for rings, that's what was important to me. And so I put that out there to be like, at a certain point in my maturity, the ring didn't matter. The size didn't matter. What mattered was that I was committing my life to go through the fire, as you talked about, to go through the fire with this one person. It didn't work out because it wasn't supposed to, right? But at the same time, I gave my word. And I think that's what Tara, you were saying, like shoot, you could give me a blow pop. We could just, sucked on the blow pop, and just been fabulous, right? Who is that? The Beyonce and Jay-Z, they have what, tattoos? Instead of rings, they have like a tattoo 4 on their ring fingers, or at least she does. She has the Roman numeral 4. I don't know if they ever bought rings for each other, but I know she has the tat instead. And so I know that's a trend now, that people are now getting tattoos on their ring finger versus actually buying an actual ring. It's to each his own, as far as I'm concerned, because what has to meet is the heart and the mind. Those two need to be on the same page, like you were talking about, and Dr. Garrett just talked about. If those two are not on the same page, I'm telling you now, I don't care what kind of diamond you got and how big it is and how flashy it is or how heavy it is on your finger. If you lead with the left, it doesn't even matter, because it has doomsday. I hate to be that person, but I'll be that person. It does. It has doomsday written all over it.
And may I say, Dr. Arnold, I have seen tons of people over the 25 years that I've practiced. And I'm telling you, I was that girl at 22 that, yes, I wanted the ring. And there's nothing wrong with that. And it's okay. I asked for the upgrade, but that was then. The woman that I am now is different. I'm a different person. So
Right.
I'm not asking for that. I have a different priority, things in life that I want and that are things that I want to accomplish. I'm not poo-pooing anybody that has that thought pattern, that's what they want. I've had that. It's okay. Been there, done that. Have a very nice ring. Again, it's in the drawer because my priorities are different now.
Right.
And so what I'm teaching, hopefully, to my son is to hear that the most important thing, I have a 21-year-old son. He's watching every single thing that happened in relationships, in my relationships and people around him and those things. So I'm hoping that I'm showing him a good example. And so that when he's ready to bring forth his bride, that he's going to hear her heart, and their hearts are going to match, and he's going to be able to do those things. Now, he's not going to do it out of my pocket, but he can have maybe some of mama's rings and melt it into one and do what he has to do to make her happy. But those are the things that I want him to see, that the relationship is what's most important. That's the most important thing. But also give her some of her desires. And so I'm also teaching him that. So I'm hoping that people hear that the relationship is what, to me, 27 years later, that's the most important thing. Can you hear me? Are you going to be here for better or for worse?
Right.
If I'm
Sickness and in health.
exactly, because there were sick days, and still are. If I'm in bed sick, are you gonna be there? I'm not looking in the bath and my hair stuck all over. Do you still love me? Are you gonna be bringing
Right.
me?
Or do I need to lead with the left so you can see the ring?
Right.
Like
You're
this.
gonna sit in the middle of the night when I'm not feeling so well and I'm really not feeling and don't look so cute. Are you gonna see that? Or are you gonna really see that I need you at that point?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's what I, those are my thoughts. Because there have been days like early in the marriage, this man could have said,
Deuces.
I was sick. And he was like, I'm right here with you.
Right. Right.
I know God sent you for a reason. It wasn't for this.
Right. And it's so funny you bring that up, Dr. Garrett, because I didn't know that originally you were on the, let me get it right. You were on the right side when you coming down the aisle, and then it switched. But the reason why it switched where the bride is on the left side is because most men first century time were right-handed, and they needed to draw their sword to protect their bride. So that's why they switched from being on the right side, because the right side was the idea of the right hand of God, the right hand of favor. So it had biblical foundation as to why she was on the right side, but then it switched to the left so that he could protect her honor. I just found that interesting. And then the whole idea of being on the left finger was this idea that there's a vein that comes from your finger to your heart.
Exactly.
And so it's called Vena Amor. Ain't that pretty? Now don't be naming your children Vena Amor, okay?
Please tell the people don't do that. You know why.
Well, Dr. Garrett and Khalid and I work in child welfare together. That's where I met them. So they understand when I don't name your children Vena Amor. We've heard all the names you could, Ovary and Ivory, but that's a different subject. Yeah, they were twin girls, but they got adopted and their names were changed.
Thank goodness.
So please don't name your children that. But nevertheless, back to the subject. Vena Amor, that there was a vein that led to the heart. So that's the whole point of it being on the left hand. But I want to ask the Stevensons, how is it now that you've had the wedding, and we won't even talk about the stress of that experience? Maybe I'll invite you back, Tiara. You could have some honest conversation about that whole experience. But how has it been? We're gonna give you the month, okay, bro? Right on. It's been a little over a month. You don't have a ring pop. You actually have a ring, and it's a beautiful ring, mind you. How's it been?
I mean, I keep using the phrase on cloud nine.
They do got that honeymoon smile, don't they? They got that smile.
Our wedding, I mean, I honestly was never that girl that planned her weddings like when she was younger. I really didn't have any thought about it. Actually, I went through a lot of low self-esteem as I was younger. So the idea of getting married was so kind of far from my mind that when it happened, it was kind of like, I think at one point we were so stressed. I said, we could just elope. I don't care. It could just be the two of us and we'll be good. But thankfully I have a mother who is very patient with her eldest daughter. And I don't think I was a bridezilla, but she claims I was. I just wanted to be heard, when it came to some of the things I wanted. I didn't want it to be so elaborate that, we got lost in it.
Right.
I do remember after it was all said and done, saying to him, I don't know how these famous people do this, but I can't do this but one day. It was just too many people asking me for pictures, too many people in my face. I was like, can I go to the bathroom? Like that one day.
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
That was enough. He didn't even get to eat his own wedding cake.
Nope, I ain't get no cake.
He
Still
didn't get
mad.
no cake. So he got to wait a year to eat the top of the cake. So, I mean,
Please get the man a cupcake. Please.
yes.
A brown sugar cup.
He bought some German chocolate cake. Yes.
What's your address? I will sew a cupcake to this man's heart.
But,
Wow.
but the event ended up being, you know, a little bit of what I wanted, a little bit of what he wanted. And we incorporated a lot of, you know, the people in our lives. So we made it something that was going to be memorable.
Yeah.
So as stressful as it was, I'm glad we had the wedding. Now, obviously, you know, the next thought is, well, what are we doing next? Where the house at? You know, how are we planning that, you know, financially, which is why I'm glad he afforded the ring he could afford, because I was not going to be coming into this with a receipt that I got to pay off, you know, for an elaborate ring. And that was another thing too, because we both realized we were in a place where our finances were, you know, we got some work to do. I mean, this is my third and hopefully my last degree. And thankfully he co-signed on some of them loans. So we owe some money. And that's fine because, you know, the dream was to be where I'm at right now. So, you know, it just, we have things in mind that we want to do. So for us, you know, bringing it full circle, the ring wasn't important to me. So long as, you know, the things we wanted out of this marriage were going to take place. Has it been easy? No. And I've heard, you know, mentors of mine who said that even before we got married, you know, no, it ain't all roses and cherries and cupcakes, you know. And I knew that going in, but they weren't lying, you know, because already so Dad said something about, I don't know what it was. I made a joke and it was a bad joke. Ooh, it was a terrible joke. But he got so offended, I had to apologize. Because I said something like, I might divorce you or something like that. It was a terrible joke. Ooh. And I felt terrible for saying that because he really, he took it to heart. So I really had to reevaluate, we've had to reevaluate some of the things that were once, you know, you can say or do because you're dating versus, you know, now we've committed now. This is it. And I told you, this is it. And you is it.
By the way, on this Facebook Live across the world, this is it. Jared, did you want to add anything?
Yeah, I mean, it's been great. It's been great thus far. It's I mean, I won't say that is a lot has changed because I've known for a while that I wanted to be with her forever. It's just you know, it's just a matter of doing it the correct way. So, you know, I've known for a while. She saved my life on multiple occasions. When we first met, I had just came off a really bad divorce. I was with my ex-wife for about 12 years. So it was something that I did fresh out of high school. I really didn't get to experience you know, life as a 20-something. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So but it was a learning experience.
Yeah.
And leaving there, it drained me a lot. You know, I went through a lot of hardships. I was homeless for, you know, a time. I was struggling for a time, but you know, I kept afloat. I met her. She constantly, you know, pushed me to keep going, you know, to achieve, you know, things that I wanted to achieve and just become a better man, become, you know, closer to God. So, you know, I knew from that moment that I wanted to be with her forever. And that was within a year of our relationship. So
I'm definitely gonna have to have y'all back because we got to talk about them flipping of the wings. We got to talk about it. For real, because if,
Great.
and I'll just make this as a side note, if the person that you have received your ring from, or you've exchanged rings, and they're not pushing you to be better than who you are today, they want you to stay in that box because it feeds their ego or makes them feel comfortable. I've been there. I know exactly what that feels like to have your wings clipped and no encouragement to go beyond. Because if you go beyond, then in their mind, you're going beyond them. And that's just not going to be right. You can't go beyond me because I'm the man, type of mentality. Or it could be the opposite. A female could have that same type of thought process, I'm the bread, I make more money than you. So you stay at that minuscule job because that feeds my need to be the queen bee in the house, right? Or whatever the case may be, that whole pride and ego thing. But definitely we're going to talk about that for sure. Mr. Burns, did you want to say something? Because I'm about to take this dog to the PC people, the PCA people, whoever they call.
Yeah,
keep whining.
Oh, no, I think everybody has spoken well.
Chiquita, you were shaking your head.
No, I didn't say anything.
I didn't do nothing.
I didn't do anything.
But yeah, so those are essential elements, even when you smoke, really. Even when you're talking about a ring, because you're not really talking about the ring. Because a lot of times I'm coming from my female cluster of people that I grew up with, and again, to Dr. Garrett's point, in those 20s, in those young 30s, the ring size equated to something.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't the ring size. It wasn't you went to Jared's, no offense, no funny, but to the jewelry store, Jared's, or you went to K Jewelers, or you went to Jewelers Row here in Chicago, which was infamous for high-end jewelry. Or you went, to Bloomingdale's, or you went to Macy's, or you went to Walmart. That it equated to something. And that's the piece that we have to dismantle. Mm-hmm. And I know from a female, I can only speak from a female's perspective, we have to dismantle that. We have to break that down. What does that mean to me if he goes to Walmart versus if he goes to Zales, or if he goes to Jewelers Row? What does it, or if he flies to New York and goes to a jewelry store in Soho, what does that mean to me? Right? Not to mention what kind of wedding. Am I eloping? Or am I having destination? Or am I having it at the Ritz-Carlton, or the Palmer House? Or if I'm having it in grandma's backyard? What does that mean to me? What am I equating that to? Because if we lie to ourselves and say, oh, I just dreamed of it when I was a little girl, and it was just so beautiful in my head. Quit playing. What does it mean? Now, for me, the Fabulous Wedding, yeah, I love all of that. I love watching Say Yes to the Dress. I could sit and watch episodes I could just sit there and watch episode after episode. I could watch the Bridezillas and talk about them. Lord knows I see a little piece of me in all of them. So you might have been just a little taste of a Bridezilla. And Miss Chiquita, definitely. But
whoa. I definitely am not.
Oh, okay. Okay. Y'all all see it. Go ahead, Colette.
Let me ask the ladies on the panel this. Mm-hmm. What if it was something that men required? So say it was, the tradition was you have to buy a watch.
Yeah. Okay?
And your soon-to-be fiance says, I want that $10,000 watch, because just the same justifications, it shows that you value me, you love me, you honor me. I can show it off to my friends. And this is my requirement. Because it's easy when it's on one side of the table. But what if that fiance said, no problem, I want a hot cooked meal, Keena, 7 days a week. I don't care what happened at juvenile court today. What would your response be then?
I'm not a slave.
Absolutely.
I'm a slave. What you talking about?
We're gonna negotiate on that 7 days a week thing.
Right. We're gonna have to negotiate about that.
You can.
I'm a cook. I will cook, but there's gonna be some trade-off. If I'm cooking, you're gonna do something else. But and I don't mind the cooking because I love to cook. But I'm gonna need something else, especially because I've been in juvenile court with Keena all day. And I'm just joking. But I'm saying, no, seriously, there's some other things that I will require. The thing is, I may not be able to give you the $10,000 watch, but I will give you a watch to show you how much I care. The unique piece of something for you. It may not be the $10,000, but I'm gonna go to it does not show how much I love you. And I get exactly what you're saying. I'm gonna give you something that's unique, something that's gonna honor you, something that's respectful, something that speaks to you. And that's the same thing I think that I said earlier. We're at the same place. And so that's the thing. I can't necessarily give you the 10. So I'm gonna give you something, but it's gonna be unique and it's gonna speak to who you are as a person.
Right. And I think if we go into marriages, I'm sorry, real quick. I think if we go into marriages thinking about that, where it's supposed to be a partnership, it's not supposed to be just about when we say it's about the bride for the wedding. No, you're going lopsided. It's about both of you.
Yeah.
And then y'all wouldn't have to come and see me 7 years later.
Or me. Because every couple I've counseled, the conversation is always about, I don't feel valued as a man. I feel that my role as a man is to give her what she wants, and I'm supposed to get the leftovers.
No.
And I think that's definitely been a terrible message if that's been sent. But again, it starts with the communication from the beginning.
Happy wife.
And what it is that each of us require. And so the thing again is having those real conversations. I'm not trying to make it look cute. This is how I look. This is what you get. I'm not, the makeup comes off. This is what you get. I'm not nice in the morning. I'm not this. That's what you see.
I'm not a morning person.
I'm definitely not a morning person. You smiling in the morning and I'm throwing daggers at you in the morning.
Right, like what you smiling at? We got to get up. Ain't nothing to smile about. No.
But
I'm better.
I'm not. So many years later, he understands, don't you? All right, Khaled. Anyway, so many years later, he understands that. So he's like, hey, let me leave. Let me put coffee in and run out the room because I know who this woman is. But it took him forever to get there. But again, the things that he likes, I'm going to do. If he wants this meal, you're going to make some bomb red beans and rice and you want this, I'm by all means going to do it. When I was out of town this weekend, I came back with his favorite things because we lived in Texas together. I put it in the suitcase. I brought it back and I said, guess what? When I landed, I got something for you. And he said, what'd you get? And I told him, he was like, ooh, you thought about me. I thought about you. I thought about you. Now I was kicking it, but I thought about you, bro. And we're back. But it's that thing. And it works. It works for us. People outside may not see it. I don't care what they see. It works. Right. 27 years later, it's still working.
Yeah, no. And I used to, like at the beginning, when I would go out of town and have speaking engagements or dance engagements or singing engagements out of the country, I would leave special little notes around the house where I knew he would find them. I have found things in my car, like a little note from him in my car. Those things matter. And what I did was I went to TJ Maxx, my favorite store, and I bought him a special box, and I have a special box. And so when we have our little special things, our special cards or special little notes and stuff, we put them in our special box. Now, I will admit, Keena does get upset when I see my special note just kind of hanging off, the rafters, like, I gave you that note. Why is it not in the box? Guess what? I don't argue about it. If I see it, it goes in his box. See, Stevenson, you gonna learn what not to argue about. The socks on the floor, honey, just let the socks be on the floor. Just pick up the
Right.
socks and put them in the hamper. Don't have an argument about socks on the floor. It's not gonna change. But that's a side note. Chiquita, I was playing with you, my love. Did you want to add something? I'm just teasing you. She's not a bridezilla. She's a sweetheart.
I'm not, I mean, no, I'm not a Brazilian. I'm just sitting here listening and taking it all in. I mean, I definitely, I understand what Khalid was talking about, especially, you know, me, I'm the type of person that if that's what he wants, then I'm going to make sure he has it. You know, I don't think Eric is going to say something unrealistically, but you know what I mean? But if that's something that he wants, me personally, I am, because he, you know, makes sure that I have.
Right.
So, and the things that I want, you know, I don't live by that. And we're not married yet, but it's just, I don't live by that happy life, happy wife, happy life and stuff. No, it's happy spouse, happy house. It goes both ways. This is a two-way street. You know, it's not just one-sided, because even when we were in the process of planning during the pandemic, it was just like, this is not just my day. This is not just about me. This is about us. It's a partnership. And I think that's where a lot of the people, they miss it, because they always think, you know, it's about the bride. It's about the bride. Like, he would ask me everything, like, what would I want? And I'm like, listen, the dress, I need some great food, and we need a Chicago DJ. Listen, we already know we have bomb planners. Like, you know, I'm just saying, we already know we got bomb planners, but you know, we definitely got to have food and the wedding cake. We have to, everybody comes to the wedding for the wedding cake. So, you know, that was just my thing. And it wasn't, I just didn't want to get caught up in the whole, you know, oh, it's all about him, all about him. Like, all about me, the attention. I didn't want that attention part just about me. I'm like, I know I'm going to be good regardless. I need him to have that same shine.
Right.
And
so,
so,
it's funny, yeah, you bring up a memory when I was choosing my wedding gown, and I did get a couture gown. He didn't give much thought. Big G didn't give much thought about his suit. He didn't give much thought about it. And I was like, babe, you get something made too. And he was like, nah. I was like, yeah, you need to have something couture, my sir. Yes, yes.
They don't think like that. It's like,
no, that wasn't his thought. Right.
They ask you, what do you want me in?
He thought like,
what time I need to be there, and let me show up.
Jared thought about that, huh? You wanted your couture.
From the top to the shoes.
Yeah, socks, all that.
Jared.
Gym shoes, Jared.
Yeah, I wore gym shoes.
Yeah, I was like, look at him being on. But that was y'all flavor. That was your style, right? Yeah. And so he ended up having a gentleman all the way north on the north side make him a suit. And he still has the suit, and he can still fit the suit. Actually, I think the suit might be a little bit bigger than what he is now. But that's his suit, you know? And I was so excited to see his suit. I didn't see the suit until I saw him at the end of the aisle. So just like he didn't see my dress, I didn't see his suit. And I was so excited because we did that. Even down to the details of the wedding, we did that. We planned it together. We added the pieces that we wanted, like you all were saying, the importance of the family or the little things that meant a lot to us. And even looking at the video, we crack up laughing at some things, right? And so those are the things. See, we at 9 o'clock already. Look at it gets organic and we just get to talking. But I want everybody to give a close out of this conversation. This has been honest. This has been transparent. This has been 100 as we always keep it. And I really appreciate my guests coming on and just being who you guys are. This has been really good stuff. And I think when people look at this, they will either see themselves and then see themselves, right? And either want to do some things different or stay where they are, but understand there's always an end game if you don't evolve. Definitely. There's something that's going to happen, break, not be comfortable. But if you deal with it now on the front end, whether you 1 month in, whether you 2 days in, whether you're still engaged, you're dating, you're courting, whatever you want to call it, you're a forever person. deal with some of those things now. Have those honest conversations. It's so important. So we'll lead off with our wonderful newlyweds that spend some quality time with us. You know, the newlywed time is important. So we appreciate them stealing away an hour for us. Go ahead, Steverson.
I guess for me, it's our foundation, which is why the ring didn't matter. I would say faith and friendship. We were friends long before any courting started. We were friends through the courting, and we remain friends now. I can honestly say this is my best friend, the person I enjoy spending all of my time with, who still makes me laugh, who still, we can do anything. He's game for anything. I'll go to a basketball game and he'll come to a dance, a ministry, whatever.
You got to come, bro. She's a dancer.
He always comes, but we support
right.
no matter what.
Right.
So yeah, faith and friendship, I think, were the driving forces for us and what have kept us. I mean, it's only been a month, but I know it's going to keep us for years to come.
Yeah.
Honey, there are 2-week marriages, honey. You like 60 years in compared to them. Okay. So don't discount your month. Your month is important when you got 2-day marriages. They done went off to, I forget what couple that was, but they went off to the islands and got married. And by the time the honeymoon or whatever they thought it was came back, they came back to the United States and got married, got divorced.
Can you more? Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. See, the name drops. Okay. Mr. Steverson, did you want to say something?
No, I just piggyback off what she said. We built a great friendship just throughout knowing each other. We've known each other for since we was 15.
2006.
So it's a friendship that we built over the years. And even when we weren't in contact, when we got back in contact, it was just natural. It was just, it wasn't like seeing a stranger or like getting to know someone that you've not talked to for years. It was just natural. So hit it off from there and here's to forever.
Yeah, with the big old cheesy smile. I love it. Chiquita, do you want to close us out with something? As you taking it all in.
As I take it all in, I guess I would just say know your person. You definitely have to know your person. Know your person. Know exactly what this person wants. Everything is not always materialistic, but know your person. Know what they want, the desires. Get everything out on the table, and just I feel like you said, build that foundation, because the foundation is the most important part and the key to everything. Because if you got a shaky foundation, a leaky roof, and some cracks in the walls, Jack. You going in that marriage, you're gonna have some more extra cracks and stuff that you didn't really sign up for. So know your person and keep people out your business.
That's for a different conversation.
I've learned. Whew, Jesus, I've learned.
Minister Burns, the second.
Yes, ma'am. So I would close by saying, first of all, thank you for having me. This has been fun and phenomenal. And thank you to everybody else who has contributed tonight. All of you are phenomenal and very wise individuals. So thank you. I would leave us by saying that in my book, I talk about how the purpose of a relationship storm is for us to see us, and 2, for us to see our partner. So recognizing that every relationship is going to go through a storm. Every relationship is going to have trouble. You're going to go through choppy waters. But when those happen, they are a testament to showing how good not just your foundation is, but how good your communication is, how much your love is really there for each other. And don't allow the storm to separate you, but allow that to be a season that you come closer together. Because the ring really is not of importance, but the ring does have a semblance of value. So value one another more than you value the ring, but don't put yourself in a position where you can't afford a nice ring if your partner desires to get a ring. So love each other well, and you will. I can promise you that you can survive anything.
That's good talk. And our lovely therapist, come on, give us some balance to all this love.
I want to let Mr. go first.
You gonna to lead with the 1-2 punch?
Yeah.
Absolutely. I let my married couples know. I have 9 friends sadly divorcing right now. And I tell my couples, friends, and professional that marriage comes with 2 M's. You choose. You can be miserable and married, or you can have a magnificent marriage. It's your choice. Always your choice. Never anyone else's choice. It's always your choice. Do the things that make your marriage magnificent, and it will be magnificent. Do the things to hurt each other, and you will be miserable. You get to decide which one is going to be. I hope you choose the first one.
Yeah. That's good. Come on, Dr. Garrett.
Okay. So I have to follow behind that. I did that to myself. But I would say the foundation to me is very, very important. So I agree with Shakita on that. But notice that sometimes your foundation shifts. And as you shift, things change. And as you change, you grow, and you have to learn to reconnect. And I like to play a game called left, right, center, right? So I have to come back to the center of who I am at all times, and the center of who we are at all times. And I have to remember that love that you guys are sharing after 1 month. I remember that. Remember that when I want to do other things and he wants to do other things, I have to remember what that 1 month that felt like.
Right.
I have to remember, yes, when I want to do those things. I didn't say that on camera though. So you have to remember to find your way back to each other. The other thing is to hear what's being said to me and those things that are not being said to me. Yeah. And then also to listen more than I talk. And because I speak for a living, that's hard because I like to talk. So I have to learn to listen rather than talk. And then also putting it into action. It's one thing to hear it and don't change anything, but then to actually put those things into action that I need to change maybe and shift and adjust myself to be with that person that I want to be with.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the summations were excellent. I don't need to say another thing, except I invite you all to come in November. We'll be back on Tuesday. Remember, today was just a special day because I'm have a teaching assignment later this week. But we'll be back on Tuesday. But our next conversation is intimacy, but into me see. SEE. Do you actually see who I am truly on the inside, or are you just like the facade, the makeup, the lashes? You just like the facade. Been there, and we're gonna talk about it. So I thank you all. Thank you to my beautiful guests. Thank you guys so much for joining us, and thank you, Facebook family. My assistant couldn't be on because she's traveling too. So Burns, I'm about to call him bro. I'm trying to be correct. Make sure you put in the chat where they can get your book, okay?
Wow.
Awesome. So have fun, enjoy your lives. Steversons, I'm so excited about your next. It's gonna be amazing. And Miss Chiquita, that's my girl over there, Miss Red Carpet. So thank you all, and we'll conclude for tonight. Thank you again for coming. Appreciate y'all. Bye.